Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tina, also known as Little T. And in today's video, you're going to come along with Brian, also known as the Big B, and myself as we travel from Kentucky back to Oklahoma and Texas. First, we stopped off in Oklahoma City, where Brian was officiating a wedding for a friend of ours who made this entire trip back to Oklahoma possible. You'll get to see all the great food that we ate while we were in Oklahoma City. And then when we were done there for a few days, we went all the way down to Fort Worth to visit our daughter and son-in-law there. We had a great time with them and explored some restaurants there as well. And after our time was done there, we drove back to Tulsa to spend some time with my sister and my niece and her family at the lake house. Come see all the food that we enjoyed while we were there and some of the sights as well. When we got to the Nashville airport, we discovered that our plane had been delayed because of bad weather in Dallas. So we decided to stop at a place that was actually offering vegan pizza. It looks a little ratty here because we'd already been eating it, but it tasted great. Then of course we went to Voodoo Donuts because why not? And I let Brian take a bite of mine because I'm really nice. Finally, it was time to take off. After we sat on the tarmac for about an hour, the pilot almost turned the plane back to the terminal, but then he got the go-ahead to take off really quick. He had just a short window. We wondered if we would make our connecting flight because there was really bad weather in Dallas. We got to Dallas, we sat in the airport, wandered around a lot, and then our plane got canceled. So we ended up spending the night in the airport and rescheduling new flights to Tulsa the next morning. The one good thing about being in Tulsa is that we got to go to Andolini's, our favorite pizza place. When we got to Oklahoma City in the afternoon, we discovered that our hotel room was amazing, the hotel was amazing, and we just couldn't believe how beautiful it was. We took a really long nap. Here's our room. It was really a nice suite. The next morning, we went downstairs and just marveled at all the work that was in the National Oklahoma City Hotel. It had beautiful architecture. It was built in 1931, and it had been restored as a hotel. It used to be a bank, but we just couldn't get enough of the sights around the hotel. And this is actually where the wedding was going to take place. So if you look really quickly, right here to the right, you'll see a doorway. You can barely see some light coming through. That's where the wedding was held. And then there's a place in the basement that actually where the reception was held. We decided to eat breakfast here 2 days in a row. We treated ourselves to a continental breakfast. Actually, the hotel had treated us to it because of our bad travel circumstances. I got some oatmeal with all the fixings, and Brian enjoyed his breakfast as well. We decided after breakfast to take a hike to work off some of that breakfast. So we saw the Skirvin Hotel on our hike downtown, and then we hiked all through Bricktown and ended up at the ballpark. Brian actually posed for me when I asked him to, which was very kind. And then it was time to come back, take a nap, take a shower, and get ready for the wedding. The wedding went off without a hitch, and the reception was held downstairs in the vault. You can see the giant vault door here. I doubt if it was purple back in the day. We love looking at bars and all the wonderful bottles that are made. It reminds us a little bit of being baristas back at the Bakehouse, just with different ingredients, of course. There was lots of good snacks and dinner at the reception, and we just kind of sat at our table and watched everybody have fun. We met up with some people that we had not seen for a long time back from Perry. It's time to go back and enjoy one more night in the hotel, and then the next morning we're getting up to leave to Fort Worth. We got to see Brianne and John play in the symphony, and the next morning she took us to one of her favorite coffee shops, Race Street Coffee. I had some amazing avocado toast, and Brian treated himself to a chocolate chip scone. It had been a long time since he had one of those. He also decided to go ahead and order a second coffee because why not? You're on vacation, you're at an amazing coffee shop, might as well get another one. Isn't that latte art amazing? There will be another video coming soon introducing you to Lorax, so watch out for that. At lunch, we went to a place we had been to when Brianne and John got married. I decided to have breakfast for lunch, and Brian had a Greek bowl that looked good, and I even stole a little bite, with his permission, of course. And he had a lemonade, and Brianne had a iced coffee. The next morning, we ate in, and I made a power oat bowl for breakfast. And during the afternoon, John made his own secret recipe called the Reverie. It was a mocktail. It had freshly grated nutmeg on top. It was delicious. It was frozen. It was certainly refreshing in the hot Texas weather. And that evening we had a delicious roasted tomato and white bean stew that John had cooked up from a recipe from the New York Times. He has since shared the recipe, and I've tried it once here at home in Kentucky, and I will be doing a cooking video one of these days really soon. We drove up the next day to my sister's lake house in Tulsa, and she had fixed some great snacks, our famous tabbouleh and some homemade hummus with all the trimmings. It was amazing. And our very last night there, she took us to a rooftop restaurant where we had some sushi. Well, Brian didn't partake of the sushi. He, strangely enough, had tacos, but it was delicious nonetheless. The view was amazing. There was a light breeze. We were in the shade, and it felt amazing. And here's just a look at the Tulsa skyline. And you see the BOK building in the background. Pretty soon you'll see us closer up to it. And here's a view of the menu. There were so many things to choose from. For me, it's always hard to make a decision, but I really liked what I got. Hi, Terry. I got some sushi and I had a noodle bowl. See those cashews? And here I am standing in the center of the universe. Yes, it's a real thing. Check it out. It's in Tulsa. And there's the BOK building, built by the same architect that built the Twin Towers. And there's another sculpture in the front called the Cloud. And it was created by a Native American artist. It was very interesting and intriguing to look at. Look at that sunset. The next thing you know, it's another day and we're on a plane to get back home to Kentucky. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this view of our trip back to Oklahoma and Texas. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.